Hi there, Rabbi. That looks tasty. What are you cooking up for us today?
I love a good stew, Joe. An Irish stew, a beef stew, lamb stew. Stew is terrific. It has these great blended flavors.
And Mark Twain wrote in Huckleberry Finn how a stew is so much superior to any other meal because of the way the foods all combined and swapped around flavors inside the pot. And I sense a metaphor in our future.
When my grandparents came from Belarus, from Glubocki to the United States, along with many other immigrants on the boat, not just the Jewish ones, they threw a lot of things overboard because they were going to become an American. And boy, when they were surprised when they got here to realize that it's not quite an amalgam, it's not quite a melting pot, which is the theories we were taught. Now, when I was a kid, I had this great toy. It was a pot of lead, and it was on this little 3-foot cord, and you'd plug it in, so which meant you were right next to the curtains because you could always set the house on fire. And here you had this pot of molten lead, and then you would little handle pour it into molds to make fishing weights, to make soldiers, to make horses, to make all kinds of things that you would have a mold for. When you got tired, you'd throw the lead back into the pot and it would melt and it'd end up once again with this gray slush that had no tom, no taste, no flavor. It was an amalgam, it was all the same. And I'm thinking that's what people thought America should be. We should all look the same, dress the same, live the same, talk the same, get rid of anything that added flavor. And that's just not true. And it's not healthy, and it never was true. People still maintain, when I grew up in Boston, there was an Irish neighborhood, an Italian neighborhood. There were neighborhoods, and you'd go to the restaurants, and there'd be the culture and the food, and it became Americanized, just like Chinese food here in America is American Chinese, not China Chinese food. However, there still is a quality about it. There still is a quality about all the different countries we come from. And our country is shifting from the idea of a melting pot, of a pot of lead, to a wonderful stew with smells and flavors. Unfortunately, the current Republican candidate for president and vice president have made an issue about Haitians and are attacking them and their culture and everything conceivable. What they're really attacking is stew. They want a lead pot, but not just any lead. They want it to be their qualities. They don't want women to have health rights. They don't want minorities to be able to vote. They don't want individuals, they don't want different cultures. And that's what we're watching. And it's creating a real problem in Springfield, Ohio.
And my mother, who was Latin American when she came to this country, felt that strong desire to be a citizen of the United States, to be modern and American, and stop cooking food like she cooked in Latin America. And the irony of the situation was that as time grew on and she realized how bad the food she was serving was, she started cooking how she knew how to cook. And suddenly every kid in the neighborhood was at our house for dinner because my mother made the best chicken, my mother made the best turkey, the best hamburgers. And everybody started coming to her house for recipes. And we affected the culture around us by her Latin American traditions.
And nothing was lost. Obviously, there's no need for all of us to be the same. And I think that's the scary, annoying part is that this imagined view that if we all lived by the same thing, ate the same food, and denied people their rights, then we'd all be better off. The reality is, we're America. We are a country of immigrants. So why don't we celebrate the stew? No one is talking of overthrowing the government. No one is talking of destroying the democracy, except those people that want to limit our freedoms in the name of freedom. It's very bizarre, Joe. We're going to be an American stew.
And like the old children's story of yet another stew, the stone soup, everybody will put something else in the pot, and together it will become a wonderful meal for everybody. So let's try and go for that.
And I just read today that Cherokee, the language, is now being taught in some schools in Canada and the United States. It was banned, and anyone who taught the Cherokee language was arrested. Now, all of a sudden, it's come to the forefront that what's wrong with teaching people who identify as Cherokee with their native language? Doesn't take away from English, doesn't take anything away. In fact, stew is always better than porridge.